Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt like there's something unique about your journey? Like your life is not just a random occurrence, but part of a greater plan? If you have ever wondered if you were singled out by God for a special purpose, this message is for you. Today, we will explore 6 profound signs that you are marked by God, set apart for something greater than you can imagine. Many people live their entire lives without realizing they are walking in the shadow of divine favor. But if you pay attention to the signs, you'll see that God is moving in your life in ways you cannot deny. Stick with me, because by the end of this message, you'll understand how to recognize the powerful evidence that God's hand is upon you. Once you realize this, you will never view your life the same way again. This revelation is not just meant to inspire you, but to awaken you to your destiny. Let's dive into the first sign. When God marks you, He aligns your life with a purpose that is far beyond your understanding. You begin to sense that there is more to your existence than just going through the motions of everyday life. This feeling of divine purpose isn't just a vague idea or an occasional thought. It becomes a driving force in everything you do. You might not even be able to put your finger on it at first, but deep down you know that your life is meant to be significant. You start to feel a pull, a deep inner knowing that your life is orchestrated by something far greater than yourself. This sense of divine purpose doesn't always reveal itself in obvious ways. In fact, it often unfolds over time, sometimes in the most unexpected moments. You may encounter challenges, setbacks, or even failures, but these experiences, when viewed through the lens of God's purpose, take on new meaning. You begin to see that everything in your life is being used to prepare you for something greater. The struggles, the victories, the relationships, the opportunities, they are all threads in a larger tapestry that God is weaving, one that is uniquely yours. When you are marked by God, your talents and passions begin to take on a new significance. What you once saw as mere interests or hobbies now feel like tools that God has given you to fulfill His purpose for your life. These gifts were not given to you by accident. God has strategically placed certain abilities within you because He intends for you to use them in service to His kingdom. Whether it's the ability to speak, to create, to lead, or to nurture, each of these gifts is a part of the divine plan that God has for you. One of the most telling signs that you are marked by God is the way that your desires begin to shift. You start to long for things that are aligned with God's heart. The things that once seemed important, personal success, wealth, or status, no longer hold the same appeal. Instead, you find yourself yearning for a deeper connection with God, for ways to serve others, and for opportunities to make a meaningful impact in the world. This is no accident. When you are marked by God, He places new desires in your heart that align with His will. He redirects your passions so that they are in sync with the purpose He has for you. This divine purpose often comes with a sense of restlessness, especially in the beginning. You may feel unsettled, as if you are no longer content with where you are in life. This is not because you are ungrateful, but because God is stirring something within you. He is awakening you to the fact that there is more in store for you than you previously imagined. This restlessness is a sign that God is calling you to step out of your comfort zone and into the purpose He has ordained for you. As you begin to walk in this purpose, you will notice that doors start to open that you never could have opened on your own. Opportunities come your way that seem perfectly tailored to your gifts and calling. This is a hallmark of being marked by God. He doesn't just give you a purpose, He also provides the path to fulfill it. You might find yourself in the right place at the right time, or meeting people who play a key role in helping you move forward. These divine appointments are not coincidences. They are orchestrated by God to help you walk in your purpose. Walking in divine purpose is not always easy. There will be moments of doubt, confusion, and even fear. You may question whether you are truly capable of fulfilling the calling that God has placed on your life. But it is important to remember that God does not call the qualified, He qualifies the called. If He has marked you, He will equip you with everything you need to fulfill your purpose. The challenges you face along the way are not meant to deter you, but to strengthen you. They are part of the process that God uses to prepare you for the greater work that lies ahead. As you continue on this journey, you will start to see the connections between seemingly unrelated events in your life. What once appeared to be random occurrences now make sense in light of your divine purpose. You realize that every step you have taken, every door that has closed, and every detour you have faced has been part of God's perfect plan for your life. Nothing has been wasted. Even your pain and struggles have a purpose in shaping you into the person God has called you to be. When you are marked by God, there is a deep sense of peace that comes with knowing that your life has meaning. You are not just existing, you are living out a purpose that was designed specifically for you by the Creator of the universe. This purpose is not something that can be taken away by circumstances or people. It is a part of your identity, woven into the very fabric of who you are. And as you continue to walk in this purpose, you will find fulfillment, joy, and a sense of accomplishment that goes far beyond anything the world can offer. Being marked by God for divine purpose means that your life is intricately connected to His plan. You are part of something far greater than yourself, and every moment of your life is filled with meaning and significance. Your purpose is not just for you, it is meant to glorify God and to impact the lives of others in ways that only you can. When you are marked by God, one of the clearest signs is the unexplainable favor that surrounds your life. This favor doesn't follow the logic of the world. It defies conventional explanations and often leaves people around you wondering how things always seem to work out for you. This isn't luck or coincidence. It's the hand of God moving in your life, setting you apart and paving the way for His plans to unfold. The favor of God is a supernatural blessing that goes beyond human understanding, and it is a powerful indicator that you are chosen and marked by Him for a special purpose. This favor manifests in various ways, often in moments when you least expect it. You may find that opportunities present themselves seemingly out of nowhere, or that doors open for you that were firmly shut to others. It's as if circumstances align perfectly in your favor without you having to push or strive for it. This doesn't mean that life will be without challenges or difficulties, but even in the midst of those, there is a grace that surrounds you, a divine intervention that keeps you moving forward when others might fall behind. People may look at your life and say, how did they get that job? How did they find that opportunity? They might even question your qualifications or background, not understanding that it's not about what's on your resume, but what God has written on your heart. When you are marked by God, His favor goes before you, making a way where there seems to be no way. It's a favor that opens doors that no man can shut and shuts doors that no one else could open for you. You don't have to fight for recognition because God's favor shines through in everything you do. There's a peace that comes with knowing you have God's favor. It allows you to step into situations with confidence, knowing that no matter what obstacles arise, God is already working behind the scenes. This favor doesn't mean you won't face resistance or opposition. In fact, sometimes it can attract it. People may be envious or even try to block your path, but when God's favor is upon you, there's nothing anyone can do to stop His plans for your life. His favor is like a shield that protects you and propels you forward even when others doubt or criticize. This divine favor extends into every area of your life. In your career, you may find that promotions or advancements come faster than expected, or that you receive recognition for your work in ways that others do not. In your relationships, you might notice that the right people come into your life at exactly the right time, individuals who support, uplift, and encourage you in ways that feel divinely appointed. Even in your finances, God's favor can be evident as unexpected blessings come your way, allowing you to thrive and prosper in ways that seem almost impossible given your circumstances. One of the most beautiful aspects of God's favor is that it doesn't rely on your own strength or abilities. You don't have to be perfect or have everything figured out for His favor to operate in your life. God's favor is not something you can earn through hard work, though diligence and faithfulness are certainly rewarded. It is a gift freely given by a loving God who has chosen you for a specific purpose. This doesn't mean you should be complacent, but it does mean that when you walk in obedience to God's will, His favor will follow you. It's not about striving for success, it's about walking in the path He has already laid out for you. Another sign of unexplainable favor is the way you are protected from things that could have gone wrong. How many times have you looked back on a situation and thought, that could have been disastrous, but somehow I made it through? That's not just chance, that's God's favor at work. Whether it's avoiding a potential financial crisis, a harmful relationship, or a dangerous situation, His favor often works in ways we don't even realize until much later. You are being watched over and guided by a divine hand, ensuring that what is meant for you will not be lost. This kind of favor also has a profound impact on your sense of peace and security. When you know that you are marked by God and that His favor is operating in your life, you can approach each day with a calm assurance. There is no need for anxiety or fear because you know that God is in control. Even when things don't go exactly as you planned, you can trust that His favor will ultimately bring about what is best for you. This trust allows you to release control and walk with faith, knowing that God's favor is constantly working for your good. It's important to remember that God's favor is not just about personal gain or success. When you are marked by God and receive His favor, it is also for the benefit of others. God blesses you so that you can be a blessing. The favor He places on your life is meant to extend outward, touching the lives of those around you. Whether it's through acts of kindness, generosity, or simply being a positive influence, your favor is not just for you, it is a part of God's larger plan to impact the world through you. The favor that marks your life is one of the most undeniable signs that God has set you apart for His divine purpose. It is a powerful force that guides, protects, and blesses you in ways that are beyond human explanation. As you walk in this favor, you will see God's hand at work in every aspect of your life, opening doors that no one can close and making a way for His will to be fulfilled. It is a reminder that when you are marked by God, His favor is both your shield and your guide, leading you to a future that is filled with His blessings and grace. When you are marked by God, one of the most striking signs is the spiritual sensitivity you develop. This is not merely a heightened awareness of the physical world, but a deepened connection to the spiritual realm. You begin to sense things that others may not notice, and you feel an inner stirring when God is speaking to you, guiding you, or nudging you in a certain direction. This sensitivity is a clear indication that you are set apart, chosen to hear and respond to God's voice in a profound way. Your spirit becomes attuned to His presence, and you start to see and understand things through a spiritual lens. This sensitivity to the spiritual realm doesn't necessarily come with dramatic visions or supernatural experiences, though for some it might. More often it manifests as a quiet, inner knowing, a deep sense of discernment that allows you to see beyond the surface of situations. You might begin to perceive the true motives behind people's actions, understand the spiritual forces at play in your life, or feel led to pray for someone even when you don't fully know why. It's as if God is whispering to your soul, gently revealing things to you that others might overlook. When you are marked by God, you don't just see the world as it is, you begin to see it as God sees it. You become more aware of His presence in everyday moments, and your spirit is continually open to His guidance. This means that you are more likely to recognize divine opportunities, even when they come disguised as challenges. You start to understand that every circumstance, every encounter is filled with spiritual significance. Nothing is random or meaningless in the life of someone marked by God. Everything carries purpose, and your spiritual sensitivity allows you to discern that purpose even in the midst of uncertainty. This sensitivity also heightens your ability to hear God's voice, not necessarily in an audible way, but through your heart, your intuition, and your spirit. You may find that God speaks to you in ways that are unique to you through Scripture, through quiet moments of reflection, or even through other people. It's as if your spiritual ears are always tuned to His frequency, ready to receive whatever He has to say. You become more aware of His guidance, and as a result, you start to follow His lead with greater confidence. The more you listen, the clearer His voice becomes, and the more in tune you are with His will. This spiritual sensitivity can also lead to a deeper awareness of the spiritual battles going on around you. When you are marked by God, the enemy often intensifies his attacks, knowing that you are a threat to his plans. However, this heightened spiritual awareness allows you to recognize these attacks for what they are. You begin to see the spiritual forces behind the physical struggles, and this awareness equips you to respond with prayer, faith, and wisdom. You are no longer caught off guard by adversity because you understand that your battle is not just with flesh and blood, but with spiritual forces. This awareness gives you strength and clarity in times of trial, knowing that God is with you and that victory is already secured. Another profound aspect of this sensitivity is how it changes your relationships with others. You start to see people not just as they appear on the outside, but as God sees them. You develop a deeper compassion, patience, and understanding for those around you because you recognize the spiritual journey they are on, even if they don't. You might be moved to pray for someone, offer a kind word, or provide encouragement, not because it's expected, but because your spirit is responding to a prompting from God. You see past their flaws and imperfections, and you feel a burden for their spiritual well-being. This is part of being marked by God. Your heart becomes aligned with His, and you are moved by the things that move Him. This sensitivity also deepens your connection to the Holy Spirit. You start to rely on the Spirit's guidance in ways you may not have before. Decisions that once seemed difficult are now made with a quiet confidence, knowing that the Spirit is leading you in the right direction. You find yourself praying more often, not out of obligation, but out of a genuine desire to stay connected to God. Prayer becomes less about asking for things and more about communing with Him, listening to His heart, and aligning your desires with His will. This closeness to the Spirit transforms your relationship with God, making it more intimate and personal than ever before. Being spiritually sensitive also means that you are more aware of the spiritual gifts that God has placed inside of you. These gifts may have always been there, but now they come to the forefront as God begins to use you in new and powerful ways. You might discover that you have the gift of discernment, the ability to intercede in prayer, or the power to speak words of wisdom and encouragement into the lives of others. These gifts are not just for your benefit, they are meant to be used to build up the body of Christ and to advance God's kingdom. When you are marked by God, He equips you with everything you need to fulfill the purpose He has for you, and your sensitivity to the spiritual realm helps you recognize and develop these gifts. One of the most powerful aspects of this sensitivity is the way it transforms your everyday life. You begin to live with a constant awareness of God's presence, knowing that He is with you in every moment. This awareness brings peace even in the midst of chaos because you know that you are not alone. You become more mindful of how you spend your time, how you treat others, and how you respond to the situations around you. You live with purpose, knowing that everything you do has spiritual significance. Being spiritually sensitive is one of the most profound signs that you are marked by God. It changes how you see the world, how you interact with others, and how you respond to God's voice. It is a gift that allows you to walk more closely with Him, to understand His will for your life, and to fulfill the purpose for which you were created. Through this sensitivity, you become a vessel through which God can work, touching the lives of others and bringing His kingdom to earth in ways that are both powerful and deeply meaningful. When you are marked by God, another unmistakable sign is the divine protection that surrounds you. This is not just an abstract idea, but a tangible reality that you experience throughout your life. Divine protection means that even in the face of danger, adversity, or spiritual attack, you are shielded by God's power. His hand covers you, and you are kept safe from harm in ways that often defy explanation. This doesn't mean that you will never face challenges or trials. In fact, those who are marked by God often face significant opposition, but it does mean that in the midst of these trials, God's protection is with you every step of the way. One of the most remarkable aspects of divine protection is that it often operates in unseen ways. You may never know the full extent of the dangers you have been spared from because God intervened before you've even realized the threat existed. There are times when a situation could have gone horribly wrong, but something shifts at the last moment and you are spared. You might have missed an accident, avoided a harmful relationship, or been kept from a financial disaster without even knowing how close you were to the brink. That's God's protection at work. He is constantly guarding you, watching over you, and ensuring that His purpose for your life is not derailed by the enemy's schemes. Divine protection also means that God goes before you, preparing the way and removing obstacles that could hinder your progress. This doesn't mean that you won't face difficulties, but it does mean that God ensures those difficulties do not overwhelm or destroy you. When you are marked by God, He is actively involved in your journey, clearing the path for you to walk in His will. He may close doors that seem like missed opportunities, but in reality, He is protecting you from something that could have led you astray. At the same time, He opens doors that lead you into greater blessings and opportunities aligned with His purpose. There is a supernatural peace that comes with knowing you are under God's protection. Even when the world around you seems chaotic, you can remain calm and secure because you trust that God has you in His hands. This peace is not the absence of conflict, but rather the assurance that God is with you, fighting on your behalf. When you know that you are protected by the Almighty, fear loses its grip on you. You are able to walk through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that no weapon formed against you will prosper. This is not arrogance or recklessness, but a deep, unshakable trust in God's ability to keep you safe. Divine protection also means that God provides you with wisdom and discernment to navigate the challenges of life. There will be moments when you sense God's warning, urging you to avoid a certain path or decision. This is His protective hand guiding you, steering you away from potential harm. You might not always understand why God is leading you in a certain direction, but as you trust Him, you will see that His protection often comes in the form of divine guidance. It's like having a spiritual compass that always points you towards safety, even when the way seems uncertain. At times, God's protection will also be evident in how He strengthens you to endure difficult seasons. There are moments when He shields you from harm, but there are also times when He allows you to go through challenges so that you can grow stronger. In these moments, His protection is not about removing the struggle, but about giving you the grace and strength to endure it. You may face hardships, but you will not be crushed by them. Instead, you come out on the other side more resilient, more grounded in your faith, and more aware of God's sustaining power. Even in the midst of adversity, you can be confident that God is using every trial to refine and protect you in ways that you may not fully understand until later. Another aspect of divine protection is the way God surrounds you with the right people at the right time. When you are marked by God, He often uses others as part of His protective plan for your life. These might be mentors, friends, or even strangers who step in at crucial moments to offer support, guidance, or encouragement. They may not even realize the role they are playing, but God has positioned them in your life to help protect and strengthen you. Whether it's a word of wisdom that keeps you from making a poor decision or a helping hand that lifts you up in a time of need, God uses the people around you as part of His protective covering. Sometimes divine protection is most evident in hindsight. You look back on your life and see how God's hand was guiding and protecting you all along, even when you didn't recognize it at the time. You might remember times when you were frustrated because something didn't work out the way you had hoped, only to realize later that God was protecting you from something harmful. Or perhaps you recall moments of fear or uncertainty, but now you can see how God's protection was the very thing that allowed you to make it through. This realization deepens your faith and trust in His providence, knowing that He is always working behind the scenes for your good. It's important to understand that God's protection doesn't always mean life will be easy or free of challenges. In fact, being marked by God often attracts opposition, both in the physical and spiritual realms. However, the key difference is that no matter what comes against you, you are never alone. God's protection is a shield that surrounds you, covering you from every angle. The enemy may try to derail your purpose, but when you are marked by God, His protection ensures that you will fulfill the calling He has placed on your life. Divine protection is one of the most powerful signs that you are marked by God. It is His promise to keep you, to guide you, and to ensure that His plans for your life are fulfilled. This protection may not always look the way you expect it to, but it is always there, shaping your path and safeguarding your future. When you are marked by God, you can walk through life with the assurance that no matter what comes your way, you are under the watchful care of the one who holds the universe in His hands. His protection is not just for a moment, it is for a lifetime, covering you as you walk in the purpose and destiny He has ordained for you. When you are marked by God, one of the most profound signs is the inner transformation that takes place within you. This change is not superficial or temporary, it is a deep, lasting shift in your heart, mind, and spirit. You begin to see the world differently, your priorities shift, and the desires of your heart start to align with God's will. This inner transformation is a sign that God has set you apart for a special purpose, and that He is actively working within you to shape and mold you into the person He created you to be. At the core of this transformation is the renewal of your mind. When you are marked by God, your thoughts begin to change. You start to think less about the things of this world and more about the things of God. The worries and distractions that once consumed your mind start to lose their grip on you, and you become more focused on what truly matters, your relationship with God, your purpose in life, and how you can serve others. This doesn't happen overnight, but as you spend more time in prayer, meditation, and studying God's Word, your mind becomes more attuned to His voice. You begin to see life from a higher perspective, and this shift in your thinking leads to a transformation in every area of your life. This transformation also manifests in the way you respond to situations and people around you. Before, you may have reacted to adversity with fear, anger, or frustration, but now with God's hand on you, you start to respond with peace, patience, and grace. This doesn't mean that you no longer face challenges. On the contrary, those marked by God often face great trials, but the difference is in how you handle them. You no longer allow the difficulties of life to shake your faith or steal your joy, because you have a deeper understanding that God is in control and that He is working all things together for your good. Your inner transformation gives you the strength to remain steadfast, even when life gets tough, because you know that your foundation is secure in Him. Another aspect of this transformation is the way your desires and motivations change. When you are marked by God, the things that once held great importance to you, whether it was material success, fame, or personal ambition, begin to fade in comparison to the things of God. You start to desire what He desires. Your heart is moved by what moves His heart, and you find yourself drawn to the things that bring Him glory. This doesn't mean that you no longer care about your goals or dreams, but it means that your goals now align with God's purpose for your life. You are no longer driven solely by your own desires, but by a deep longing to fulfill the calling He has placed on your life. This is a powerful transformation because it frees you from the pressures and expectations of the world and allows you to live with a sense of divine purpose. This inner transformation also affects the way you see and treat others. As God works in your heart, He softens it, filling you with compassion, kindness, and a desire to love others as He loves them. You start to see people not through the lens of judgment or competition, but through the eyes of grace and mercy. You become more patient, forgiving, and understanding, knowing that God has extended the same grace to you. This change in your heart leads to a transformation in your relationships. You become a source of encouragement and support to those around you, and people begin to notice the difference in you. They may not be able to explain it, but they sense that there is something different about the way you carry yourself, the way you speak, and the way you treat others. This is the work of God within you, transforming you from the inside out. One of the most beautiful aspects of this transformation is the increased desire for intimacy with God. As you are marked by Him, you are drawn closer to His presence. You begin to crave time with Him, whether it's through prayer, worship, or simply sitting in silence, listening for His voice. This desire for intimacy grows stronger as you realize that nothing else in this world can satisfy your soul the way His presence does. You start to prioritize your relationship with Him above all else, and in doing so, you experience a deeper sense of peace, joy, and fulfillment. This intimacy with God is the foundation of your transformation, because it is through this connection with Him that you are continually renewed and strengthened. The transformation that occurs when you are marked by God also affects your sense of identity. You no longer define yourself by your achievements, your past mistakes, or the opinions of others. Instead, you begin to see yourself as God sees you, loved, chosen, and set apart for His purpose. This shift in your identity gives you a new sense of confidence and security. You are no longer striving to prove yourself or earn approval, because you know that your worth comes from being a child of God. This newfound identity allows you to walk in freedom, knowing that you are fully accepted and loved by the one who created you. As you continue to grow in your relationship with God, this inner transformation becomes more evident in every area of your life. Your character is refined, your faith is strengthened, and your spirit is renewed. You start to reflect the image of Christ more and more, not because of your own efforts, but because of the work that God is doing within you. This transformation is not something that happens once and is completed. It is an ongoing process. Every day, as you surrender more of yourself to God, He continues to shape and mold you into the person He created you to be. This inner transformation is one of the most powerful signs that you are marked by God, because it is the evidence of His work in your life. It is a reminder that He has chosen you, that He is with you, and that He is continually working in you to bring about His purpose. This transformation is not just for your benefit, it is also a testimony to those around you. As they see the change in you, they are drawn to the God who is at work in your life. Your transformation becomes a light that points others to Him, showing them the power of His love and grace. Being marked by God brings about a profound inner transformation that changes every aspect of your life. It renews your mind, reshapes your desires, strengthens your character, and deepens your relationship with God. This transformation is a sign that God's hand is upon you and that He is actively working within you to fulfill His purpose for your life. As you continue to walk in His ways, this transformation will only deepen, allowing you to experience the fullness of what it means to be marked by God. When you are marked by God, one of the most significant signs is a divine protection that surrounds you. This protection is not something that is always visible to the human eye, but it is ever present, guiding, shielding, and safeguarding you in ways that go beyond what you can imagine. God's protection is one of the clearest indicators that you are set apart for His purpose, and it manifests in various aspects of your life, sometimes in ways that may not be immediately recognizable but are undeniably real. Divine protection is not just about being spared from physical harm or danger. It is much deeper than that. It involves God's hand over every aspect of your life, your spiritual well-being, emotional stability, mental peace, and even your future. When you are marked by God, He establishes a hedge of protection around you. This doesn't mean that you will never face trials or challenges, but it does mean that no matter what comes your way, God is watching over you and ensuring that everything works out according to His plan. The Bible teaches that no weapon formed against you will prosper, and this promise becomes a reality for those who are marked by God. One of the most profound aspects of this protection is how God shields you from unseen dangers and spiritual attacks. In the spiritual realm, there is an ongoing battle between good and evil, and when you are marked by God, you become a target for the enemy. However, God's protection ensures that the schemes and plans of the enemy cannot prevail against you. You may not always be aware of the attacks that are being launched against you, but God is. He stands as your defender, your shield, and your stronghold. He protects you from spiritual harm and ensures that your faith remains intact, even in the face of adversity. God's protection also extends to your emotional and mental well-being. In a world filled with anxiety, stress, and pressure, being marked by God means that you have access to His peace, which surpasses all understanding. This peace guards your heart and mind, giving you stability and calmness in the midst of chaos. When you are marked by God, He protects your mind from becoming overwhelmed by fear, doubt, or confusion. Instead of being swayed by the negative influences around you, you are able to remain grounded in God's truth. His protection keeps your mind clear and focused, allowing you to make decisions that are aligned with His will rather than being driven by fear or insecurity. This divine protection also shows up in the way God guides your steps. When you are marked by God, He orders your path, ensuring that you are in the right place at the right time. You may not always realize it, but God's protection is often evident in the way He prevents you from making wrong choices or going down paths that would lead to destruction. There may be times when doors are closed or opportunities are missed, and in the moment it may feel disappointing or confusing. However, with time you begin to understand that God was protecting you from something that wasn't meant for you or from a situation that would have caused you harm. His protection sometimes comes in the form of redirection, and even though it may not always feel comfortable, it is always for your good. Another way that God's protection manifests is in your relationships. When you are marked by God, He brings the right people into your life and removes those who are not aligned with His purpose for you. This protection may come in the form of severed relationships, which can be painful at first, but are ultimately for your benefit. God knows the hearts of people, and He sees things that you cannot. He protects you from toxic relationships, harmful influences, and people who do not have your best interest at heart. Being marked by God means that He surrounds you with people who will uplift, encourage, and support you in your journey. His protection over your relationships ensures that you are not derailed by the wrong influences, but are instead surrounded by those who will help you grow and fulfill your purpose. God's protection is also evident in how He guards your future. When you are marked by God, He has a plan and a purpose for your life, and His protection ensures that nothing can derail that plan. Even when things don't seem to be going as expected, God is still in control. He protects your future by aligning circumstances, events, and opportunities in a way that leads you toward the fulfillment of His purpose for your life. No matter what obstacles or setbacks you may face, God's protection ensures that you will ultimately arrive at the destination He has prepared for you. This divine oversight means that nothing happens by accident, and even the detours or delays you encounter are part of His greater plan for your life. One of the most comforting aspects of being marked by God is knowing that His protection is eternal. It is not just for this life, but for the life to come. When you are marked by God, you have the assurance that He is not only protecting you now, but that He has secured your eternal future. His protection extends beyond this world, guaranteeing that you will be with Him for all eternity. This eternal security gives you the courage to face whatever challenges come your way because you know that your ultimate destiny is safe in God's hands. Divine protection does not mean that life will be free from challenges or that you will never experience pain or hardship. However, it does mean that in the midst of those challenges, God is with you, shielding you from destruction and ensuring that everything works out for your good. It is a reminder that no matter what happens, you are never alone, and nothing can separate you from God's love and care. His protection is both a comfort and a strength, giving you the confidence to step forward in faith, knowing that you are covered by His grace. Being marked by God comes with the profound assurance of divine protection. This protection covers every aspect of your life, your spiritual well-being, your mind, your relationships, and your future. It is a protection that is constant, unwavering, and eternal. As you walk through life, you can have peace in knowing that God is with you, guarding you, guiding you, and ensuring that nothing can harm the purpose He has for you. His protection is one of the clearest signs that you are marked by Him, and it is a powerful reminder that your life is in His hands. In conclusion, being marked by God is a profound and transformative experience that manifests in ways that deeply shape your life. Whether it's through your undeniable sense of purpose, the divine protection that surrounds you, or the unique way you are able to inspire and impact others, these signs are clear indications that God has set you apart for something greater. From the challenges you overcome to the growth you experience, each aspect of your journey is touched by His hand. This mark is not just about what you accomplish, but about how God works in and through you, refining you, guiding you, and ensuring that your life aligns with His ultimate plan. Being marked by God means walking in His purpose, trusting His timing, and embracing the unique path He has designed for you. It requires faith, perseverance, and a deep sense of surrender, knowing that you are never alone. His protection, favor, and direction are with you, and no matter what obstacles arise, He ensures that your steps are ordered, your path is clear, and your future is secure. As you continue on this journey, may you embrace the calling on your life with confidence, knowing that you are chosen, guided, and marked by God for something extraordinary.